How long do I need to hold a stock to collect a dividend? That's a question that people ask pretty frequently all the time. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how long you need to hold the stock to collect the dividend, and I'm also going to show you two strategies that people use to benefit from. But first, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, hit that like, comment, and share button. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, you are now tuned into the Investor Show as always. This is your gracious host, the Prince of Investing, Prince Dykes, coming to you guys and girls live all the way from the beautiful city and state of Denver, Colorado. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button. And as always, I don't have a lot of time, and I definitely know you guys and girls don't have a lot of time, so we're going to jump straight into it. So right here, people ask me all the time, hey, I want to buy this stock. How long do I got to hold it to collect the dividend? It's actually pretty easy. Right here, I have TD Ameritrade pulled up and I have Apple pulled up, right? And it's the same thing with E-Trade or any other platform, majority of the platforms that are out there. So you're going to go straight down here where you see this X dividend date right here. Look for the X dividend date. So the X dividend date for Apple is May 8th, 2020. And the dividend pay date is May 14th, 2020. So now, what does this mean? This means that in order to get the dividend payment that got paid out today, they had a dividend that got paid today at 54. They got a dividend that got paid out today on May 14th. You would have to hold the stock a day before the dividend X date. So you had to hold this stock on May 7th. If you brought this stock on May 7th, right, the day before the dividend expiration date, if you held this stock on May 7th, you would get a dividend payout on May 14th, right? Because first, the company declared a dividend, then the company has a X dividend date, meaning like, okay, if you have to have owned this stock before this date. If you own the stock before this date, now it's going to turn around and say the next day is usually like on May 9th is the record date. They're going to go back, look at the records, make sure, okay, all these people own the stock. Then on May 14th, you're going to get paid a dividend. You don't have to hold it through all that time. You pretty much just really have to hold it for about 2 days. You got to have it on May 7th. You're on the record date, and boom, you're going to get paid on May 14th. Now, some people say, well, you know what? I can buy stocks right before they expired and collect the dividend. That's a great strategy. Actually, some people do utilize that strategy. The downside to that strategy is when a stock pays out, when a stock pays dividends, let's say for prime example here, you got Apple that's paying 1%. So they're paying $3.28 per almost a dollar, not a dollar, but 75 cents per quarter for every share that you own. So if a company is paying 75 cents per quarter, and you multiply that times the 4 billion, that's a lot of money that a company has to pay out to every shareholder, right? So what usually happens on the day that the company pays the dividend, like on May 14th or whatnot, you usually see the company take a slide. And as you see that company take a slide, the company will usually bounce back up, right? So people will utilize that and say, oh, the company slid on this day, it went down because they had to pay all those dividends out, and the company will come back up. So some people utilize that. They jump in on a dividend expiration date, the company will slide down, and then the company will shoot up more than the dividend that it paid out. So that's one strategy that people use with dividend expiration dates, buying them right before, holding it, then catching a rebound up or whatnot. But another downside to that is not only do the stock slide usually on dividend payment date, also you got to worry about taxes, right? When you only hold if you hold a stock for less than 61 days in the current tax codes, if you own a stock for less than 61 days, you're going to get taxed on ordinary income. But if you hold a stock for over 61 days, now it's a qualified dividend and you pay less taxes on it at the end of the day. Yes, Uncle Sam wants a piece of your dividends. But that's one of the ways. This is how long you really have to hold a stock. You pretty much, long story short, you got to get it the day before the expiration date, dividend, the ex dividend date, the date before. You can look this up on any company. Boom, you have it before that day, and 2 days later, let's say if you still have the company on a dividend payment date, you get paid. You get paid a dividend. So you got to have it the day before the dividend expiration date. Your name has to be on record being a shareholder, and you'll get paid on the next dividend date. So it's tons of other strategies that people use with dividend payments and things like that. But that's just one of them. I want to kind of show you what people use. I even seen people see the company drop on the expiration date. They'll purchase a call to see the company go back up, and they'll take little movements like that. And then I've seen people who jumped around. They just look for expiration dates on large cap companies. They just jump around them for dividend expiration dates, and they just purchase like that. So there are all type of ways you can do this, but that's just one way. That's how long you got to hold the stock to get a dividend payment. And until the next video, podcast, cartoon, or whatever else crazy you see me do around the globe, peace, be safe. I'm out.